Hello everyone, welcome to Soho Bikes TV episode 3, and this one's going to be a little bit different. We've moved from the smoke of London to the wilds of Wales. One of the most asked questions at Soho Bikes is which trail/enduro bike do I buy? Would it be this, pretty much the standard 27.5-inch wheels, 6 inches of travel? Will it be this, one of the new breed of 29ers coming through, 29-inch wheels coupled with 4 to 5 inches of travel? Then there's this, just to confuse things, the new industry standard, the 27.5 plus wheel size. Is it a gimmick or does it really work? And of course, how do they all stand up against this? Tried and trusted downhill bike. We've come to BikePark Wales to find out which is best in a trail centre. What does best mean? Even I don't really know that. That's why I've made some phone calls, called in some old favours and got some people down there. Let's go and meet them. Well, who have we got here then? We got Rowan Sorrell, you own this place, BikePark Wales. Chris from Mojo Suspension. How many times have you been world champion, Petey? Just
one more than you, mate.
Tracy Mosley, 3 times EWS world champ, right?
Yeah, and a downhill one there, a few years back.
Oh yeah, you did as well. Well done. That wasn't meant to sound patronising. I meant brilliant. Tani Seagrave, going to win a World Cup soon, ain't ya?
Hope so.
Yep. And a host of other mountain bike legends here as well. So, Rowan, you've built probably the most popular trail centre in the UK, which is all pretty much downhill fed. Is it fair to say that this is somewhere where riders need their bikes to excel, where a bike has to perform well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, all our focus is on gravity fed trails. So whether you're a cross-country trail rider or downhiller, you want your bike to be set up for all the descents.
Yeah, it's pretty, I must admit, it's good fun. And we must point out at this point that everything today that we've done is to test the descending capabilities of these bikes. And which trail have we used as a result of that?
Beyond 50 Shades of Black. That's our longest black trail. Probably the most natural style one we've got. A lot of rock features. Pretty varied terrain as well, so it tests the bikes in different ways.
Yeah, it's got all sorts of that in it.
Yeah.
So the day went as such. We split the riders into 2 groups. We first tested trail bikes against downhill bikes, and then we set all the different wheel sizes against each other as well. Been riding all day. This is what went down. BikePark Wales is just over 20 miles north of Cardiff, the capital city of Wales, and is the UK's first full-scale bike park. 5 years in the making, the park offers uplift access to 30 trails of varying degrees of difficulty. The trail we've chosen for our test, 50 Shades of Black, is one of the most challenging in the park and has a variety of gradients, trail features and surface types throughout. 50 Shades is just under 1.5 kilometres in length and descends nearly 300 metres from top to bottom, with panoramic views over the Welsh valleys around Merthyr Tydfil. The trail starts in the open with plenty of rock slabs, boulders and a road gap before the riders drop into the tight and technical wooded section. The woods are full of roots, jumps and rock slab chutes with loads of tight corners, opening into fast single track towards the bottom. Perfect conditions to test both trail and downhill bikes. The aim for the riders was to ride their chosen bike and tyre combinations as consistently as possible to give a fair comparison. To balance the results, some riders started the day on their trail bikes with others on their downhill bikes. Depending on their setup, the riders then swapped their bikes and tyres partway throughout the day. With over 130 competitive runs in the bag, we headed to the BikePark Wales Cafe to crunch through the numbers. Well, there it is. We all got in, I think, 8, 10 runs, some of us more than others. How many did you do, Pete? You look exhausted, mate.
Got 10 in, I think, today.
Did you?
Yeah. You Rob, is exhausted.
Me?
Did you get any full runs in, Rob?
Yeah, 8 full runs with a small break in the middle. Right, we're going to start with the downhill versus trail category. And before I give you the results, what do you think came out on top? Which was fastest? Start with you, Chris.
Well, I think the downhill bike will probably have it because of the size of the holes and the edges are all quite square.
It's quite a rough track, wasn't it?
It was pretty rough. So I reckon the shorter travel bikes will just be hanging up, falling in the holes, just making more of a meal of it.
Pete, what do you think?
There was some steep bits, but there was quite a bit of flat in between as well, so it was hard to keep the downhill bike going fast all the time. You had to work a little bit harder on it. Trail bikes were a bit easier to keep going fast, but I think overall for me, I reckon downhill bike felt better for the whole track.
Not a lot of pedalling on it though, was there, or have I just missed a trick there?
You had a break.
You were never good at pedalling, were you?
I don't like getting too out of pant. Right, let's do the big reveal. I've always wanted to do this. And the winner is downhill bikes were quicker. And in fact, everyone was quicker on a downhill bike except you. You were quick, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Enduro king.
You did a 303 on your trail bike, a 305 on your downhill bike. Steve, for instance, you were fastest. For an old boy, we ought to give him a quick round of applause. Only man to go under 3 minutes, or woman. He did a 257.24 on his downhill bike, and on your trail bike you did a 312, so you're about 15 seconds slower.
Yeah, I didn't have a good trail bike run.
Loose Dog Lewis, you were 329 on a trail, 316 on a downhill bike. Craig, you were 312 on the trail bike, 302, so 10 seconds off. So if you were now, knowing that, going to buy a bike for a trail centre like BikePark Wales, which would it be?
If you were just riding 50 Shades of Grey every day, then I'd get a downhill bike. 50 Shades of Grey.
You know what he spends his evenings doing. You know this trail as well as anyone, right? You did...
He walked it last night, you know.
He did actually walk it last
Yeah, but this was not a race, but he did walk the track last night, and on his trail bike he did a 307.88, and on your downhill bike you did a 307.6. So you were, yeah, nothing in it. What bike did you feel better on?
On the flat stuff, the trail bike definitely felt faster, like you were carrying more speed, you could hop over the ruts and stuff. But then when you're actually steamrolling through the rock gardens, the downhill bike felt better.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? But like the wood is where I thought a downhill bike would actually carry the speed better. But when I rode me Enduro bike, I was amazed how much more manoeuvrable it was almost, and how much easier, like you say, it is to get going. Anyone else find that?
I did. Yeah.
Well done, Tani.
I think the thing with the downhill bikes, unless you're a big lad like Steve, it can feel like it's sucking the life out of your legs when you're trying to pick it up and put it down and move the bike around. So a shorter travel bike can actually be quicker for someone who doesn't have the balls to hang on and just let it go.
In that middle wood section, on my trail bike, I felt like I could just get little backsides and everything and just keep it going. It was a lot lighter, tyres were rolling better. And then as soon as I got my downhill bike, I felt like it was like sucking the speed away from me in that flatter section. It took me a couple of runs to get used to my downhill bike after riding my trail bike.
Yeah.
10 seconds is a big difference over a 3 minute track, really, I think.
But he spent a bit more time on downhill bikes as well than he has trail bikes, right? You don't ride trail bikes anything like as much, or you do?
I bet you do.
Yeah,
He's a closet Enduro rider!
I like to call it cross country.
He's a mountain bike rider.
I've been doing it for 30 years at home before Enduro was invented. I was riding.
I call it cross country as well, but don't say that on telly because we get laughed at. That's old fag. Right, well that's that wrapped up. Now we're going to move on to 27 versus 29 and see which wheel size came out on top there. And it was actually really close. Out of the 9 riders that did both, we had 5 quicker on 29 and 4 quicker on 27.5. So, Trace, you had both bikes today, I know, and you raced a 29er, but which felt better down there? And give me the advantages and disadvantages of those bikes.
Well, I would say, I've ridden my 29 now for 3 years and done very little on a 650, so that's kind of like I'm coming with a bit of an advantage for the 29. I'm more comfortable on it. Got on my 650 and it felt like I was on my little 5-year-old nephew's bike to start with. It just felt tiny, and I ended up putting the stem up a little bit just to feel like I had a bit more height on the front end. And the second run and even the third run, I actually started to feel like I actually was going quite quick on the 650, which I didn't expect to on that track. The difference for me massively was that hard rock section, just trying to hold a line with the 650 was way harder.
Yeah.
I kept getting pinged off stuff, and I felt like I was working harder to ride the bike, whereas it felt like I was saving energy on the 29 in comparison. But then the bottom section, when it got into the nice kind of loads of those turns and berms, it was quite easy to turn the old 650, which makes sense. So it was interesting. Had a bit of everything on that track.
Is the 29er a lot slower turning then than the 650?
It doesn't turn as quick. It's not as nimble, but it's stable. It really does, hold a line. The grip's good, and I really feel like it's a fast, efficient bike. It doesn't tire you out anything like a 650.
And that's what you race, right? At the Enduro World Tours, that's what you're on.
Yeah. So.
Well, you, Trace, were 3:27.47 on the 27.5. Yeah. 3:24.
So 3 seconds.
On the 29er. It was a bit quicker. Yeah. Not miles, but enough. Yeah. Probably enough to win an EWS, those sort of margins, aren't they? Who else did a run on both? Well, you were 3:07.8 on the 27.5, and you were 3:08.9, so about a second in it on the 29. You haven't ever ridden before, so you'd imagine that if you was on your own bike and you spent some time on it, you'd be quicker on a 29, wouldn't you?
I would expect so, yeah.
Who else rode both wheel sizes?
All right, but yeah.
What do you think?
I think my 29ers can be faster. Just felt more stable.
You were 3:22 on the 27.5 and 3:18 on the 29er. Yeah. And how much travel's your 29 race bike got?
150 front, 140 rear. For a track like this, I'd probably want a bit more to really get the maximum speed, but generally, yeah, I think for most trails.
Josh, what did you ride today?
Same as Will. I've never ridden a 29er before, and I wasn't sold. I know you can't have an opinion about doing it, but first run down, I just thought I'll just chill and get used to it. And 3 corners in, I was just straight with it. I reckon it's probably quicker than what I did.
A little bit.
Bronson.
How much quicker do you think you were on the 29?
I don't know.
No idea. Just have a guess. It's telly.
10 seconds, I don't know.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
No.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah, you were 10 seconds quicker.
No.
On the 29. Toby, you rode both as well. You rode. Which one do you reckon you were quicker on?
My last run was on the 2.9, and I reckon I knew the track better, so I reckon I was quicker on that.
Yeah, you were by 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
And which bike did you feel better on?
I think I was having more fun on the 650, and it was handy learning the track. I'd never ridden it before, so kind of being able to change direction was easier for learning it. And then at the end of the day, on the bigger wheel, it just went over the holes. I was getting a bit more tired, and I knew the track a bit better.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Really.
Who was the 650 that went quicker then? Seeing as we only had 29s that have been.
Oh no, you've stumped me. Hang on. Nick, who was faster on a 650?
Doddy. Phil Shacksmith. Rowan.
Rowan's here.
And Will.
But you, Rowan, how much travel did your 650B have?
160.
And how much travel did your 29 have?
110. Well, that's.
Oh.
So. All right.
That's not a fair comparison.
Well, no, but you're only 5 seconds slower on the short travel 29.
Anyway, but that was my similar to Will. I've ridden a 29er twice, on a trail centre. So that was, I'd say, my first go on proper terrain. So I thought it was going to be real bad on that track, and it was bottoming out everywhere. But I just felt like if I had the travel with those wheels, I'd be going quicker.
Yeah,
definitely.
a lot quicker.
And it was an eye-opener to me.
So out of the 27 and 29, which bike would be more fun?
For me, fun's going fast, and my 29 is faster. That's how I see it. Whereas if I want to skip around and pop skids and wheelies, then if that's fun, then that's a 650. So it depends on what your concept of fun is. Yeah, they're both fun.
Petey's been doing skids and wheelies and making a living out of it for 25 years, hasn't he, brother?
You've not done bad yourself as well.
Ray, what bike would you take?
650.
You would?
Yeah, just kind of what I say, a bit more playful.
I think the thing with the 29s, they don't slow down on the bump face, so you can roll on.
But why can't you bunny hop them?
But you don't get anything on the opposite face either, so there's no kind of, if you're looking at little trail features that you can get a little pump off.
Yeah.
The bigger wheels just don't do it, so you just got to sit down and pedal.
But why is a 29-inch wheel bike so hard to get off the ground? Because they are, aren't they?
Maybe just the ones you ride.
It's just your
That's that sorted then. Thanks, Steve.
Anyway, was it?
Right, now we're going to look at 27 versus 27 plus, which, am I right in thinking, and you'll know the answer to this, Chris, is a 27 plus virtually the same size as a 29 diameter?
It's nearly the same outside diameter.
So it's less, smaller rim, but more tyre.
Yeah.
And how does that ride?
Well, it's going to be bouncy, isn't it?
It's not fat bike bouncy though, is it? We're not on that level yet.
It's going to
are
be
we?
bouncy enough. Be interesting to find out if any of the 27.5 plus bikes made a full run without punch.
We did. We had 3 people do full runs on them. You did one, Toby, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were 3:44 on a 27 and a half. You think you were faster or slower than that on the plus?
I think I was probably faster on the plus because I did it later on.
6 seconds faster.
Yeah.
What did it feel like though, the plus? Good or not very good?
In place it felt good. Over all the small bumps it felt good, but once you started hitting bump after bump, I just found the rebound in the tyres was catching up on me really.
Really?
Yeah, felt I was sort of bouncing offline too much.
Did you run them at a lower pressure than the 27 or the same?
Yeah, a lot lower.
You do, yeah.
Would have them at 18 and 20, whereas on the normal 27 was 25, 28.
So almost like £10 lower. If you put
Yeah,
more air in them,
plus.
what would you think?
Yeah, then you've got
Then
no
you
advantage.
get the grip.
Yeah.
I think you're riding for that grip, but then just riding to the trail, it was zipping along. On all the little high frequency small bumps, it was just mining that out, and it was really fast.
You did one, DC. What do you reckon you did? You were fast on the 27 and a half. Amazing. You did 4:06. Really good. What do you think you did on a... You hadn't lost it. Oh, did you? Yeah, we all get punches, mate. Well, on the 29 you did
a full run.
Eh?
At least you attempted
All
a
right,
full run.
Trace, I'm the host. You did a 29, you did a 3:25. What do you reckon you did on the 27 plus?
My first run on the plus, I'd never rode one, so I just went a bit steady to weight up. And then second run, I was having a good run, but punctured it. My second run would have beaten that, I think.
The time that stands was 3:35, so you were 10 seconds slower on the 27 and plus over the 29. Who else did one? Alex? Hello, mate. Do you want to get involved or got anything to say? We're going to have to turn the cameras around or you have to move. So you did a run on a 27. This ain't the kind of TV show I'm into. We're not on a date. We're not on a date. No, just slide back a bit. It's fine. That's better. So you did. Which bike do you ride primarily? The 27 and a half.
Yeah.
And you did a 3:22 on that.
Okay.
And what did you? Do you think you're faster or slower than the 27? Or do you think it was an advantage or a disadvantage then?
Okay. I don't think it was either. It didn't really feel any different, to be honest. The
You did-
tyres were at 20 psi on the back and 19 on the front, and they felt just as hard as my normal bike. Didn't really feel much different.
Well, you did a 3:22 on the 27 and a half and 3:23 on the 27.5 plus. There you go.
There you go.
Mint.
Cheers, Rob.
Right, off you go. So, Will, you know, you got an opinion on it. What did you find out about the 27.5 plus today?
I think on the plus bike there's a problem with the tyres. I think they're very thin in the sidewall, and I think quite a lot of people had punctures on the 27 plus bikes.
Oh yeah, we know you did DC allegedly. But did you? They do puncture easier, do they? Why? Because the carcasses are so thin to get the weight down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So they're uncompetitive then, really? Because if they puncture, they're a waste
You
of
go
time.
run really low pressures, so you can nip them, slit them with the low pressures as well.
Yeah.
And where it gives you a bit of an advantage though is, you know, on a track like that where it's pretty rough, they almost created that element of soft suspension that a downhill bike has, that extra little bit. So I think they have got a space for a certain rider who maybe wants a bit of extra confidence on a rough trail.
Right, so in conclusion then, which is the best bike?
Downhill, mate.
I don't think it's the bike. I think it's the person riding it.
And what they choose, you mean?
Yeah, no, and how good a rider they are in terms of. I think you could probably put Steve on any bike and he's going to go pretty quick.
Is there one bike yet though that can do everything?
Well, I think if you
It
put
can do it.
I also
is it
think
going to
that-
do it at its the best possible way? Then no, because a downhill bike's always going to be better if it's a downhill track.
Yeah.
And an XC bike's going to be better if it's a cross-country bike.
So
you
downhill
never-
bikes ain't dead?
Not if there's downhill tracks happening. No, definitely not.
But then Tracy did do 4 pedal ups today as well,
Yeah.
and I reckon she should get 30 seconds off her time just for pedaling
Yeah, I did
up
6
that
runs
much.
and took the uplift twice.
So, and I think you couldn't do that on a downhill bike.
No, that's right.
You couldn't do that on a downhill bike.
I think the downhill bike saved energy as well towards the end. Like, I felt a lot more tired on my trail bike, like arm pump wise.
Yeah. It was a much rougher ride, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask why you didn't do a full run today.
I was tired by the time I got to that crossing, and I like that dog that was there. And it, it licked my face every time I went down.
Pack of dogs that chased you up a tree.
It was a cross with a collie and an Alsatian, I found out. Beautiful looking thing it was.
Were you just scared that the girls were going to beat you today?
No, Pete, he said that. No, I genuinely...
Did I not beat you at Anta?
No.
You sure?
2 seconds up, wasn't I? Don't worry, I fucking checked. Woo! So the one thing we've probably found out today is that all bikes got strengths and weaknesses, and everyone's had a good day, haven't they? We've all had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Chris, do you enjoy yourself? You look a bit
Yeah, I
grumpy.
think so. I'm just knackered, mate, like yourself. I could hardly do a full run.
No, you did do a full run though, did you?
I did, yeah. I think I overtook you.
Okay, I think we've covered that. We've got to say thanks to Martin and Rowan for letting us use BikePark Wales today. So really all that's left is for you to decide which bike you want to ride. We've had a wicked day. Make your own mind up. See you next time on Soho Bikes TV. I don't know about the thumbs up in the Yeah. And from here in BikePark Wales, we'll see you next time on Soho Bikes TV. No thumbs up, man, that'll do. Fuck this shit, I'm off. Oh my God.
Thank you.